right, welcome back to the Nigeria Site Studios on the network service of the NTA. I am Cyril Stober. Well, so far so good. We've been carrying on since 6 o'clock this morning, bringing you updates on how the elections into the governorship, state governorship and state houses of assembly have been going on. That also includes the elections into the area councils in the Federal Capital Territory. The elections were held this morning, and the results, as we speak, are being put together, collated and put together. And so the Nigeria Site Studios will stay open until we bring you the results of those elections. For this session, I have joining me right here in the Abuja studios, Dr. Ubin Ebirim. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
He's a public health specialist and also a politician. Good to see you. And we're also here with Mike Utsaha. Mike, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right, and let me also welcome Chief Michael Ajayi, who's a public affairs analyst. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for having me.
All right. So we're here. We're set. We'll be looking at the events of Saturday and how far Nigeria has deepened its democracy with this set of elections. But for now, let's go straight to our Sokoto Center, where we have Dalhatu Abdullahi sitting in tonight. Dalhatu, good to see you. Tell us about what happened in the elections in Sokoto today.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate, on the Nigerian Decides studio. I have in the studio the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the 10, Muhammad Alhaji Mustafa. Before the arrival of the next guest, let us take some reports from our studio. Collation of election results in Sokoto South Senatorial District is in progress across the polling units in the area. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrillah completes the report.
The election was peaceful in most of the polling units visited in Sokoto South Senatorial Zone, though there were reports of voter apathy, logistics problem, and few incidents of violence in some areas. However, voting ended early in polling units where voting started in good time and sorting of ballots commenced in earnest. Similarly, the supplementary election in both Enga, Treta, and the Ngeshuni federal constituency in 9 polling units was conducted peacefully with adequate security. Sorting and counting is also progressing smoothly.
That's what of the House of Representatives, but the results have not reached us yet. But for now, we are awaiting the results because collation is still going on. It is after the collation from the RA that we will know whether there are more cancellations for these present elections or not.
Thank you, Abraham. Shehu Muhammad Datti was also at Sultan Machido Institute, the Collation Center of Gubernatorial Election in Sokoto State, and tells us more.
Good evening, viewers. Behind me is auditorium of Sultan Machido Institute for Quran and General Studies here in Sokoto. Like the previous election of the President and the National Assembly, it served as the Coalition Center for the election. Today, it's exactly 7:55. The auditorium is under lock and key. No results have started coming yet. Investigation reveals that the Coalition Center will be open at 12 a.m. Sunday morning for the commencement of coalition. Unlike the previous elections, no security agent is here yet, but previously security was beefed up here to ensure hitch-free coalition. It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Datti. The AIG Zone 10, Muhammad Alhaji Mustafa, security-wise, today, elections for the offices of the governor and state assembly members was conducted across the country. Security-wise, how was it in Zone 10?
Well, by and large, good evening, viewers. By and large, Zone 10, the election went on peacefully in Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara. Like other states, there are a few pockets actually, which were all managed, and so hugely it was successful.
Okay. We learned there was an increase in the number of security personnel being deployed to cover strategic areas across the zone. Can we know the number?
Well, the increase in number of security personnel is not only peculiar to the zone, it's all over the federation, and this is being informed by the the intelligence reports that are available, and Sokoto is also considered as one of the flash points, and that was why the deployment was done. Deployment was done from the force headquarters, from the zonal headquarters, and then we used the personnel of the command, and it was very successful. That was why largely we covered everywhere, and remember also the sister agencies are all there, the paramilitary and the military all were there, and effectively the deployment was done, and that's why the election went on well.
Zone 10 covers 3 states, that is Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara state. Which of these do you find more challenging in terms of security or insecurity?
Well, the security in terms of the elections, well, definitely everybody knows, it's noticed everywhere that Zamfara is brewing, because of the banditry attacks and the forest. And there's also a little bit of infiltration from Zamfara to Sokoto, and equally also to a little part of Kebbi. So we are aware of that, and the security is also deployed effectively to take care of this. But election-wise, I think Sokoto is hotter than the rest. Kebbi and Zamfara, where even though there's Zamfara is hot because of the boundary, but I think election-wise, from our assessment, I think because of the maybe gladiators, the political situation in Sokoto was it was a bit. I think I'll assess it as a bit hotter than the rest.
AIG, was there maybe resurfacing of fresh attacks from Kebbi State? Maybe on the eve of election to the election day?
No, we didn't record attacks in Kebbi. And the attacks that were recorded was that of Sokoto. That is before. That was yesterday, not today. Our security personnel who are going for election security duties from Eastern side. We are attacked. Unfortunately, they ran into a kind of attack and kidnapping or adoption of some people, and shortly they arrived too, and they also become victims. Unfortunately, we lost an ASP and a sergeant, and one is still is missing. So that's the situation. But by and large, election was supposed to take part in the East Side stuff where this incident happened. So it did not affect the election. So it was a mandatory attack, and it's being investigated.
As investigations continue by your people along that axis, can you share with us maybe the number of victims being missing? Because unconfirmed reports reaching us indicated that the casualties, security men were killed, some were left with wounds or bullets.
No. Those wounded were all doing well. They are now recuperating. They are doing well. It is the 3, that is, 1 is missing, 2 are confirmed deaths. ASP, that's Bakar Misaje, and Usman Ibrahim is a sergeant. The 2, we lost them. Their bodies have been recovered, and one other missing is being looked for. But the rest are recuperated, so that's the situation. No, that's just the situation.
That is on the
3 of them.
That is on the side of the law enforcement.
Well, the other cases are just abduction, and it's being investigated. So but no loss of life.
Okay.
Just kidnapping.
Kidnapping, but
Yes,
how many
and
people are involved?
Well, there was incident yesterday, and there was one other today. So investigation is ongoing. So we'll come up with the numbers.
So you are yet to receive the numbers of the affected victims. Okay. Now, as coalition continues, the results from the local government areas, and you see the ad hoc staff of INEC, most of them will spend this night at their places of work, mostly in the remote areas.
Yeah.
What is being done to see that they are being secured?
There's enough security adequately. We have done it and statewide. Okay. You know, there was enough deployment of security personnel at in all the 23 local governments, and we are satisfied with this. So there's no any cause for alarm. So they are also coming along with these security personnel to the collection centers and to the state headquarters. So eventually, we are good to go.
The popular fear among the public is that when the chiefs are down, it's brother killing brother. You see, most of the time when there is this type of attacks, it is the security personnel that are the worst hit, some killed like that. You see, then what would be the fate of the ordinaries, who's not even holding anything as per protective measure?
Well, sometimes you see this is one of the sacrifices. You see, we depend on human rights. We lose sometimes in the course of our duties. We lose our lives in while protecting others. Every policeman knows this. You sign for this, and the hazards are there. So, but the most important thing is people are being protected. It's because of people are being protected, and you are bound to come across some percentage of casualties. So this is it. Policemen are aware of this, and this is just the situation. So there's no cause for alarm actually in the zone. But like even despite the banditry attacks and all these things, those places have been addressed by the Joint Task Force. And concerning ISA, operation order has been planned for us to flush that place.
You said you see the fear by the public is that along that axis of ISA, where the identified as flash points anyway, toward the submarine area in the Raba, is that the voters may not feel that kind of free to come out and vote. And you said that the election has not been affected. So how can you make?
You know, it is this time around. It's not only here. You've seen if you have watched check from this program across the nation. Many places, even Benue and some other places, flashy states like this, people are still, where cancellation took place, people are still clamoring for the elections to take place. They are willing to go and vote. They don't want to be disenfranchised. So this is just the situation because of so much has been put in by INEC and others, to enlighten us and educate the public. And there are people are now want to exercise their rights. So that's just and I think it's applicable also to the people of ISA. They want to exercise their franchise. So I think that has informed by and large this. And they came out and they voted. In Zamfara, it was very successful, the elections. People came out in numbers and voted for the candidate of their choice. It's something to get.
So there is no any fresh attack in Zamfara?
No.
On the eve of the election day, under the election day?
No, it's the eve of the attack, and then just one kidnapping that happened to place today.
In Zamfara?
No, not in Zamfara. Zamfara, there wasn't on the eve of Zamfara, we recorded some few cases in Shigafi side. So that was just the incident. That place is notorious for that, so it's being addressed by the Joint Task Force.
When you say few cases, people may wonder how many people were involved.
Well, there
are casualties. So
there was one that they kidnapped 8 women, and that was nobody has lost no loss of life. Then earlier on, during the 2 weeks ago, during the first elections, that is the presidential elections, 2 people lost, and the eve of the election, 2 people lost their lives. But in this, we've not recorded.
Okay. Well, the discussion is with Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the 10, Muhammad Alhaji Mustafa. Let us take some reports from the studios before we come back to the AIG for continuation of the discussion. Earlier in the day, I was with Governor in his polling unit in Tambuwal, where he exercised his franchise. This is what transpired. Unlike the presidential and national assembly elections conducted 2 weeks ago, today's election was conducted without hitch in most of the polling units. As early as 7 o'clock in the morning, eligible voters turned out en masse at the Shirajia polling units in Tambuwal town to exercise their franchise. They formed separate queues according to gender in an orderly manner, while accreditation and the voting commenced simultaneously at 8 o'clock in the morning, directed by INEC. Some voters interviewed expressed satisfaction with the preparations made by the INEC and the presence of the security personnel.
The conduct of our election is very interesting. There is no any problem or part.
The election is going on normally, inshallah.
Sincerely, all our women, as you can see, they all perfect and they are here.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, who is also the gubernatorial candidate of the PDP, expressed satisfaction on the peaceful and orderly manner of the conduct of the polls and said he is ready to accept the outcome of election results in good faith.
It's generally peaceful. There are some few places where we have some tension, naturally expected, but it's generally peaceful. And by the time God decides and the people decide to check and accept the verdict of the people.
At about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we had a stopover at 003 polling unit at Takatuku Model Primary School in Bodinga local government, where voting and sorting of ballot papers according to political parties have been completed and counting of ballot commenced.
9.
9.
10. Yes, sir.
And all the little voters on queue
was accredited and they voted.
Okay. Did you experience any problem along the line during the process?
No. Every voters were, according to rules, they voted according to rules.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So no any hitch, no challenge?
There was no hitch, there was no challenge, there was no crisis.
Police,
the securities were doing their jobs as
party
required.
agents have been cooperating?
Yes, sir. They were all cooperative.
In all the polling units visited, the turnout of voters was impressive. Also in Birnin Kebbi, the state governor, emir of Gondu, and other voters cast their ballots. Osman Abdullah Shehu tells us more.
Well, studio, we are now at Ian Gwandu polling unit. From all indication, in most of the polling unit we've visited around Birnin Kebbi Metropolis, election is going smoothly. And it's like the conduct of election, after being smoothly, it's like the election is going to be completed on time. Because in most of the polling unit, INEC officials arrived with their election materials on time. So the election proper started in about 8 o'clock exactly in almost all the polling units. So in almost all the polling unit, like more than 20-something polling unit we've just visited, election is going smoothly and without any problem. Behind me is Mayor Alelu polling unit. It's where the APC candidate, that's gubernatorial candidate, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, has just cast his ballot.
Following the 23rd of February presidential and national assembly elections, a lot of improvement has taken place that is making it easier for voters to exercise their civic duty.
The Emir of Gondu, Alhaji Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar, also exercised his civic right at the Emir's Palace polling unit in Birnin Kebbi.
Well, thank you, studio. That's it from here. We'll get back to you with more update from Birnin Kebbi local government.
Thank you. AIG Gandhi district and some villages within that local government of Rabba along the border with Zamfara state,
yes,
has been a flashpoint being hit by several attacks by bandits,
yes,
claiming several lives. and destructions of properties belonging to the, in fact, leading the emergence of IDP camp in Gandhi. How is the situation there now, and what are you doing to see that? Because just 2 weeks back we had another experience where 16 people were killed by bandits.
Yes, we are quite aware of this. Before this incident, a few months back, I learned there was an operation before my arrival. And you know, just 1 month, there was an operation, joint operation that was put in place, but unfortunately, it was truncated. It couldn't go on. So we are looking at synergize with the military and with the GOC. So we are planning for these joint operations to go back and address this issue. Operation order has been prepared also for the police to also look at it, you know, before, you know, the police operation is on routine. Before the joint operation comes in, then the routine, we have to also address it through police ops order. So this is being addressed, and I'm sure the state government is going to fund us.
Okay. Maybe, AIG Kang, pardon me if I use the word banditry. We received unconfirmed report again from parts of Kebbi local government along Ongushi district. Whether we don't know whether it is true or not. Can you clarify that a village has been even been made now empty?
Naturally, you know, is a boundary.
Okay.
The boundary, the infiltration is expected. Okay. So this, you just have to plan to address this issue. Definitely in one or the other, either through cat rustling or the boundary is just crossing over. This is bound to happen. And the area commander and the TPOs have been addressing this. Now we have to look at it as a larger perspective. We have to address it and bring the joint operations to address it so that we curb these infiltrations. So it's going to be addressed.
Okay.
It's been addressed, actually.
Okay. Another incident happened during campaign periods before the presidential and the National Assembly election along Tangaza Road, where a serving member of the State Assembly was kind of kidnapped. That area too has received some kind of fears.
All these things are expected. The best thing is just for you to address it. Once you sit down and address it, plan very well. There's bound to be infiltration. You just have to take measures to curb it, and you have to put measures, strategies in place to contain it, to restrict it, and then also contain it in Zamfara itself.
Okay.
So that is the best way to handle it. And
so the issue of infiltration maybe along Tangaza local government and maybe Gudu is from the Niger Republic?
Well, this sense is the larger border is the Niger.
Okay.
You understand? And then right inside Zamfara,
okay,
in the forest, they are there.
Okay.
So you can see it's a continuous process.
Okay.
Coming through the border is also there. Those who are already in the haven who can also penetrate, infiltrate. So these things have been, they simultaneously take place. So we just have to address it. That's just the situation.
Okay. Now, what are the major challenges?
Well, the major challenges you have seen, this is one of the biggest, the banditry attacks, I think. And this is the major one. And then, secondly, I think we need everybody to be on our side. Intelligence is the way to go. People should give information about these people, and then they should synergize, cooperate with the law enforcement. I think with this we'll be able to cover it.
Are the members of the public doing what they are expected to do to see that these issues of insecurities are nipped in the bud entirely?
Well, people are losing their lives are being lost. Nobody wants to lose his life. Even the criminal doesn't want to lose his life. So people are yearning actually yearning for solutions to these problems. And we have to do it together. The law enforcement, the government, and then the citizens have to come together to address this problem.
Now we are talking about gubernatorial and the state assembly elections. Yeah. The elections were conducted today, and the collation of results continues.
Yes.
These results are coming from the remote areas across the state and across the local governments under your zone.
Yeah.
What assurance are you giving to the members of the public and the ad hoc staff there in the remote areas?
Well, security is in place. The ad hoc staff, they know they've been working with the law enforcement right from the beginning, and now is the reverse, coming back to the state capital. The law enforcement should be up and doing. Nobody should relax, because the elections security is before, during, and after. And we'll call on, also seize this opportunity to call on citizens to wait for the results, for INEC to announce the results. People should not jump, you understand? Especially, this is the worst part of it. The last part of it is always a very dicey one. People jubilating and all. You need to know the results. Wait for the final results before you come out to jubilate. And if you want to jubilate, then there are ways to go about it. The law enforcement can even give you security cover, for you to jubilate. But where youth and miscreants will hijack this is a problem. So the warning and advice to the public is they should behave themselves, conduct themselves, for INEC to address, to give these official results. And then celebrations can take place. You can't stop celebrations. We can even give you the coverage. So we will want a situation like that. We want the cooperation of the general public.
Maybe for saying that the public, members of the public should wait for INEC to declare results, the AIG must have had maybe something in filtering.
No, it's always expected. It's expected. People like to understand. People are anxious. Probably they are in position of little results from their own what?
From their own situation rooms.
Exact situation rooms. So that one shouldn't make you to, just start jubilating and all over, leading to even harming somebody else. So this is just advice. The advice is that let us behave ourselves. We started well. We are doing well. The elections are over. Coalitions, results, everything will come out. Like you said, we're all brothers. There must be a winner and a loser. So the whole thing is everybody will celebrate.
Under your zone 10,
yes,
the AIG, sir, how prepared is your command to see that issues that might arise from the post-election violence are not allowed to crop in?
Yes, we are ready. The three commands, the commissioners of police from the headquarters, the DIG deploys as an AIG, election AIG, who is overseeing these two. And several commissioners, all of them are here. Everybody is working round the clock to make sure that we contain such a situation to cover the election before, during, and after. So we are ready, and we're going to give the maximum security coverage.
Our safety is guaranteed.
Guaranteed by God's grace, inshallah.
Well, that is the discussion between me and the AIG in charge of Zone 10, Muhammad Alhaji Mustafa, MNI. Back to Cyril in Abuja for continuation of Nigerian Decides. Good evening.
All right, thank you very much, Dalhatu Abdullahi from our Sokoto Network Service. And just while we were there, we were joined by another guest here in the Abuja studio. Let me welcome Mahmoud Jega of the Daily Trust newspaper. Mahmoud Jega, thanks for joining us here.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, disturbing reports, very disturbing reports coming from Sokoto, Benue, Oyo, Imo, Ebonyi. And the question is, what's going on? Why all this violence? You just heard now from Sokoto, security personnel killed. In Oyo, it was a politician who was shot dead. What's going on? Dr. Obinna.
I think this news of death is quite regrettable. Elections should be a peaceful process where everyone should come out and cast their vote according to their preferred candidate. And people decide either to wait for the collation of the result at the polling unit or go back and then wait for the result to be announced. it should be a peaceful process, and when it degenerates to a point where people are killed, it's highly regrettable and condemnable, and I think we should go away from this election condemning that act and preventing it from happening, so that when next we have the election in 2023, we should have elections that are devoid of such killings, devoid of such deaths. No one should die in an election. Election should be a peaceful, a free process.
Mike?
Well, Cyril, I am one of those Nigerians that have held a very positive outlook to our democracy and our democratization process. But these reports are pretty depressing, really. And the question you ask is a profound question that we all have to reflect upon. What is happening? What is happening? We didn't see this level of violence in 2015. So why do we make gains and then we take 5 steps backwards? This is the question that we all have to ask ourselves. INEC, politicians, security agencies, and all of that. What is really happening? Do we really